just hated things the way they are.
Okay, that is a look at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, this ragtag band of misfits. They are back together for their final ride.
And this time, they're fighting a brutal attack from a new enemy, the mad scientist known as High Evolutionary, played by Chukwudi Iwuji. James Gunn plays Kraglin, who is now an official member of the Guardians, and they both join us now in studio. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
It's great.
It is our pleasure. This is a fave of mine, by the way, this franchise. I love it. Great job with it. Chukwudi, I want to begin with you because I know, firstly, you're one of the newest cast members, and you found out you got the role while you were filming in Vancouver?
Correct, yes.
Okay, tell us your reaction, because I always love to hear this story when people find out.
Oh, my God. We were in Vancouver doing the dance sequence for Peacemaker, the opening dance sequence, and James Gunn pulled me aside and said, "Can I have a word with you?" And, of course, as an actor with imposter syndrome, I thought he was going to fire me. And I said, "Is this when you thought you were hiring Chiwetel Ejiofor and not Chukwudi Iwuji, you know?" And he said, "No, I'd actually like you to play the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And I had what I've described as the Homer Simpson moment, you know, when Homer's confused and just blinks at the camera. So I blinked at him for a long time and mumbled something. And so then a few weeks later, we did a screen test, and it was wonderful to do a screen test for one, as opposed to walking into a room and seeing 5 versions of yourself. And we did the screen test, and a few days later, I remember I was on the phone and my wife was calling saying, "Have you heard?" And I said, "No, but no news is good news." And as I was speaking to her, James's ID came on the phone. I said, "I have to take this." And he called and said, "I guess we're going to be together for another 6 months. You got it." And that was
And did we get another Homer Simpson reaction after that?
It was a dope.
All right, Sean, you've been a part of the franchise, of course, from the start. Your brother, James Gunn, is the director. This is the final installment of the trilogy. How does it feel? It's kind of to be wrapping things up.
It feels excellent. It's bittersweet in its own way because it's sad to have sort of an ending of sorts, you know. I've been working with these people that I respect and love so much, from the people who've been to the around since the first movie to the new cast members like Chukwudi, who is truly extraordinary in this movie, by the way. And so I'm gonna kind of miss working with everybody, but I also feel like part of the creative process is you make something you're proud of, and then you give it to people. That's what we do. So I'm pretty excited for this part where we get to share it.
And Chukwudi, how excited were you to play your part? Because villains are, I don't know, but I imagine they're a lot of fun to play.
You imagine correctly. I've always been drawn to the villains. My whole life, every movie from, watching the Lee Van Cleef as the bad and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and all these villains and stuff, because their boundaries are more elastic. You can stretch things out a bit. There's more play, there's more room, there's less sense of expectation. And when someone says, as James did, "I need you to ground this guy, but we're not making any compromise on the fact that he is a truly horrible piece of work," I relished it. The word I've been using is delicious. The further away something is from you, the more exciting it is to play. So I had a great time, and what a great cast to come into, because I believe acting is reacting. And I had Sean very much a lot as Rocket, so I wasn't just using CGI, I was actually using a human being there, and so that really helped my performance a great deal.
Sean, you said that when your character Kraglin became a member of the Guardians, you got really choked up, right? Yeah, why was that such an emotional moment for you?
Well, I think that my own journey as an actor has mirrored Kraglin's in some regard. So the idea that I would go from being this sort of outside character in the first movie to really being, that journey of being accepted by the group and into the family was very emotional for me. And I think it also in a way parallels how we feel about our fans and the people who see the movie. It's like you kind of get drawn in and hopefully feel like you're a member of the family by the end of these movies.
Chukwudi, I just want to let the people know you have a background in Shakespeare and classical theater. Did that find its way out at all? Did it?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, when I was ruminating on this guy, I kept thinking of characters like, a big one is Henry IV. Henry IV goes through this crisis in Henry IV Part 2 of the weight of England. And that's where the line of heavy is the head that wears the crown comes from. And I felt this character was kind of like that. And then I got the ideas of the fact that he doesn't sleep. And there's something oratory about the way he speaks and lyrical. And James is really brilliant at writing rhythm into his language. And classical theater is all about the rhythm in the language and using that to do things to yourself. So it was great to come home, to do this really new experience, but to feel like I was coming home and go, oh, I know this guy. I know how to do this, you know. So it was great fun.
All right, well, fans are ready to come home. They're ready to flock to the theaters for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that opens in theaters this Friday. Great to see you both.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the film, and thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having us.